Okay, so question is, I can't stand this Facebook stuff. So why should I be posting?
You know, I often get the question, do I really have to do this? For whatever reason, there's so many of you that come up to me and it's with pain in your eyes. You pull out your phone, I see you at a conference, and you go, really, do I have to do this? I hate doing this. I get what you're saying. I appreciate what you're saying. I just can't stand being on my phone, being on Facebook, being a part of social networks. I love it. You know, I can't stand seeing what people had for breakfast this morning. I hear it all the time. And so the question is, do I have to do this? Do I have to do this? And the answer is yes and no. The answer is yes, your practice. You have to do this, but you don't have to do this. And so what I want to share with you is that my goal, my recommendation, my goal, my objective is for you to understand what needs to be done, for you to understand the psychology of what you're doing on your Facebook page. This isn't rocket science. I know so many of you just want to bury your heads in the sand. You just want to go, oh, my office manager handles that stuff, almost as if it's a badge of honor to be ignorant. It honestly is, I think, a little, you should be embarrassed, but have a curious attitude at the very least, right? Why don't you behave the way you want people to behave about chiropractic? How's that? Like, let's use that as a framework. You want them to go, oh, my body's so screwed up, I don't need that stuff. You hear it at spinal screenings and you roll your eyes because you think people are nuts. But you don't sound much different if that's your perspective, right? Oh, I hate that thing. I don't want to deal with any of that stuff, right? That's what you sound like. I'm sorry for being blunt and honest, but that's just what it is. So be curious. I'm not saying you have to do it. I'm saying be curious enough to ask the right questions. I'm betting if you ask the right questions, you're going to come to the conclusion that this is the smartest, fastest, easiest way for you to get your message to the most amount of people in your community with the least effort. If you can find something better, I want to know about it. But that's what this tool is, if you'll learn how to use it the way we're teaching it. So, learn the psychology of sharing a daily dose of inspiration with your community. Learn the psychology of inviting people to stay connected with you so you can inspire them, not just the few minutes they're in your office each and every week, but every day of the week. Learn the psychology of letting people know your passion to help reach, teach, and touch as many people in your community as possible, and ask them for help in your mission. I'm sorry, but that's a very different attitude and perspective then. Are your headaches better? Oh, that's wonderful. On a scale of 1 to 10, if they were a 4 before, how are they now? Oh, wonderful. Who else do you know that has headaches that you think we might be able to help that lives locally? Now, you can play that game if you want to, if that's what you want, but don't complain that the people in the world don't understand what chiropractic is, because they understand exactly what you told them it is. So if you want to see something different in your practice, and if you want to collectively see something different in the profession, let's start proactively putting our message out to the masses. And historically, we couldn't afford to do that because the only way to reach the masses traditionally was through traditional mainstream media. You know, it's funny. Even the mainstream media uses social media as their sources these days. It's crazy. And yet we want to come up with every excuse because you just don't feel like putting forth a little effort or learning something new. You know, I sometimes wonder whether the world behaves about chiropractic as a reflection of the way chiropractic behaves around the world. I don't know. Maybe just something to think about. So why don't we go first? Why don't we do what Gandhi said and be the change we want to see in the world? Why don't we start being curious about more things? And let's start with social networks. How's that? Then we can move on to being curious about being better at some of these other tools and things like that. So that's the bottom line. If you don't want to do it, at least understand the psychology of it and then delegate it to a staff member. Because a staff member will do it and probably enjoy doing it. But if you don't make it important and you don't know what you're holding them accountable to or for, they'll do it for a few weeks and then get busy with some other project you throw in their face. They'll drop this one. You don't really know the value of it. You're not sure what you're holding them accountable to. Are you still doing that Facebook thing, Sally? Sure am, Doc. And you don't even know what you're talking about or what you're even looking for. That's the way a lot of you are playing it. And I'm telling you, you're missing a major opportunity. You're making a big mistake in your income and your impact. So, stop being a dummy. Just get involved. You're a smart person, so open your mind to new ideas. This is so easy. Adults get it, okay? Your kids understand this stuff super easy. They're on it in nanoseconds. Maybe pay them to tutor you how to learn some of these things. They'd love it, and so would you. So, enough of my rant for today. It's just one of those hot buttons. When I hear, chiropractors and even family members just go, "Oh, I can't deal with that stuff." I go, yeah, you don't want to pick up a telephone and dial some 7 numbers because you don't want to connect with somebody. There was a time when the telephone was new. You don't want to learn about a fax machine so you can instantly send paper and information back and forth. Look, it's technology, folks. And if you're going to be on this planet for more than just a few more minutes, I suggest you get with what's going on and learn how to stay connected with the people in your community, because it's time for you to create a movement in your community, and social media is the way to do that. So thanks for watching. I hope that was helpful. Learn what you need to do, and then delegate it to somebody in your team to get it done. And if they need help, check out all our resources, because there's more than enough free information for you to learn exactly what you need to know.